Good morning, everyone. In today's class, we'll just see the uniform plane wave, the last topic of Unit 3. So, we are dealing with the uniform plane wave. Right now, what is this? It is also known as free space of an electromagnetic wave in a free space, or else we just say uniform plane wave, right? So, it is a particular case. It is a particular case of wave equation right, for which electric field is independent of y and z, right? Y and z axes, in the direction of y and z axes, and it will be a function of x and time t, x variable and a time t. Now such a wave is said to be uniform plane wave. So we just started our today's topic with uniform plane wave, which is also termed as electromagnetic wave in a free space. So it is a particular case of wave equation, right? When I talk about wave equation, right? So wave equation, I am talking about electromagnetic wave for which the electric field is independent of y and z axes, and it will be a function of x and t. So it will be a function of this particular wave is a function of the variable x, or we can just say that is in the x direction, and also the time coordinate. And if this is the case, we just call such wave as the uniform plane wave. Now, how to proceed further? Mathematically, we want to just derive our thought of uniform plane wave mathematically. How it will look like mathematically, right? There's a theoretical statement just now I told you. So how this will be looking like when we just apply the mathematics to it. So for that, what we are doing here is that let us consider the case of we just consider, wave. When I talk about wave, just now I told you, so we are just considering the case of electromagnetic wave. So let us consider the case of electromagnetic wave. And when I say electromagnetic wave, so we definitely I'm talking about the mathematically I'm talking about in which the components, right? In which the components of vectors. See, mathematically we are dealing with the components of vectors E and B. See, of the vectors E and B. So that is the mathematical consideration of electromagnetic wave will definitely vary with one coordinate that is x, and also the time t. x also in the time t. See here, we just started our topic as uniform plane wave. How we can just study it mathematically. So first of all, what is uniform plane wave? How the wave is said to be uniform. So it is a particular case of a wave equation for which the electric field is independent of the y and z axes, y and z direction, right? This means independent of y and z means it is independent of y and z axes or y and z direction, and definitely it will be a function of a particular variable that is in the x-axis and the time t. And we just say if this is the case, we say that such wave is known as the uniform plane wave. Now this should be applied to an electromagnetic wave. So what we are doing, let us consider the case of an electromagnetic wave. When I say electromagnetic wave, definitely you will have an electric vector E and a magnetic vector B. So let us consider the case of electromagnetic wave in which the components of vectors E and B are varying with a single coordinate, that is either it may be x and also the time t. Now how we just write this particular statement with some mathematical value, right, a parameter. So how I just see that we can just write as per our consideration. So we can just write E is equal to E of x comma t. Clear everybody? Now B is equal to B of x comma t, right? And I'm just applying my, what we can say, plane wave. We just studied plane wave. So what will happen to Maxwell equation? It means that when we don't have any charge density, that charge density will be equal to 0 when we consider a plane wave. So del dot E will be equal to 0. What it actually means, right? It means that del is a differential operator, and you are aware in the fact that you have studied this in vector algebra. Whenever you use del, so del is nothing but dou by dou x plus dou by dou y plus dou by dou z. Since it is associated with a vector quantity, here we are just associating with del with the vector quantity E. So how I can just expand it, right? How you can expand it? So we just expand it with dou Ex by dou x plus dou Ey by dou y, right, plus dou Ez by dou z, which is equal to 0. Clear everybody? Now what it means actually, it means that dou Ex by dou x is equal to 0. Why? Because you are aware of the fact that these component, right, this whatever we are considering in the first uniform plane wave, you can just see this uniform plane wave means it's a wave equation for which the electric field is independent of y and z. You can just see electric field is independent of y and z. So these components effect will not be there. So only one effect will be there, that is due to dou Ex by dou x, which is equal to 0. Now what I can write this, right? So in differentiation, right, I can just write that as dou Ex by dou x is equal to 0 can also be written as E suffix x is equal to constant. And let us consider this is equation number 1. So we want to show mathematically that the uniform plane when you talk about a uniform plane wave of electromagnetic wave, so we just conclude that it will act on the x direction with the x variable coordinate and also with the time t. Further, as you know that electromagnetic wave is not only possess the electric vector, but also it is possessing the magnetic vector also. Now this is the equation what we got, Gauss law in electricity. This is actually resembling the Gauss law in the electricity. You can just see this is the Gauss law in electricity, where the value of charge density will be equal to 0. So that is the reason that directly you got del dot E is equal to 0. In the same manner, what we are doing is that moving further. So further, as you move further, so in the magnetism, how the Gauss law will look like, in the same way what it has been mentioned here. This is the first case. Here we just write del dot D is equal to 0. Again we can just rewrite as we have written for the case of this electric vector we are writing here dou bx by dou x plus dou by by dou y plus dou bz by, right, dou z, which is equal to 0. Again, you are aware of the fact that so either it may be electric field or the magnetic field, so only the x coordinate is right is taken into consideration and employs. So we just write here bx is equal to constant. So can I write here, this is equation number 2. So we got the information for an electromagnetic wave with if it is a uniform plane wave or electromagnetic wave in a free space, then you get this particular equation Ex is equal to constant in the electric vector. So Ex is equal to constant and the magnetic field vector Bx is equal to constant. Now this 1 and 2 resembles the fact that the derivative of E and B with respect to what you can say the derivative of y and z with respect to y and z will be 0. Either it may be y or z. So the derivative of E and B is 0. So that is the reason that you can just write that sentence also. So equation 2, 1 and 2. So by equation 1 and 2, right? Equation 1 and 2 signifies that the derivative of E and B with respect to y or z, right? Y, either it may be y or z, that is equal to 0, right? So now we can just move this again. We can just prove this particular value of Ex is equal to constant and Bx is equal to constant by using the other Maxwell equation. So the third Maxwell equation also can just say that this is the Faraday's law of electromagnetic equation. Here we are proving that in a given uniform plane wave what the Maxwell equation relation look like, right? So first and the second one is over. We are just we'll write it down. We'll just write it down about this value. This value is what curl E is equal to minus dou B by dou T. So curl E is equal to minus dou B by dou T. When I write this, you are aware of the fact that in mathematics, when I write curl E, so it means it is a del cross E. Del cross E. So in mathematics, how this del cross E can be written as you have used this in the lower classes. This is there in your intermediate first year, right? So dou by dou x, dou by dou y, I, j, k unit vectors, dou by dou z, and the coefficients that are nothing but e suffix x and e suffix y and also e suffix z. Now this is again this b here signifies here. So b is nothing but that is bx suffix x I plus b suffix y into j plus b suffix z into k. Now what we are doing here is that we just now you are aware of the fact this is dou by dou t. So this is what b suffix xi plus bxi plus b suffix y j plus bz k. Now this is what you get, right, when we use this third Maxwell equation. So ultimately, since you are aware of the fact that only x coordinate will be working out, so that is the reason that can we directly write here I into, so this comes to be dou Ez by dou, clear everybody, dou Ez by dou y minus dou Ve, right? What is that? Dou Ey by dou z, right? Now this is what dou z. You got this value. Now this is what we get. We are just writing the I value, right? First of all, we just write the I values. I into, right? So this is equal to dou bx by dou t. In the same fashion, this is the first term that we have taken. In the same pattern, the second one, what it will be, I, this e. First of all, this I get cancelled, this cancelled out, and what you'll obtain here, dou ez by dou y minus dou ey by dou z will be equal to 0. Clear, everybody? So what it signifies here, implies dou bx by dou t will be equal to 0, implies you again say that bx is equal to constant. Now this is what we got the value as. Now you can just see this, whatever the fact is there, that for each and everything you are getting the same one, right? So you should be right. So what we are actually dealing with, we are just dealing with the uniform plane wave, and for a uniform plane wave we got this particular value. So now I think that this is what for the uniform plane wave, and with this this topic is completed. So we'll move, we'll just try to move to the next important topic that we are dealing with. So this ends our unit 3. Here we just you should be aware of the fact that you should be very much aware of the fact here is that the electromagnetic wave, whatever the theoretical concept we are discussing, that theoretical concept should be verified mathematically. Now when we just start our fourth unit, we will just have a very clear idea about what is actually the magnetism. So you are having this clear idea that what is actually magnet is all about, or magnetism. So the material which is having the property of attraction, right? So for in our comfortable language, we just say such material is nothing but it is called a magnet, and the process or the phenomena is said to be magnetism. Now the next important aspect that you need to remember, right, in while studying the magnetism, and how this magnetism is useful for an engineering student, that actually whenever you are, first of all we just go towards your household appliances. So in household appliances, washing machine will be used, generators are used, your daily life computers, your cell phones, that require a component which will have magnets. So this is a very important parameter to understand. We are using certain equipments, and in that equipments we are using this magnetic phenomena as an what you can say, an important part of our daily life equipments or the appliances what we are using. So an engineering student should have the information, basic information, what is actually the magnet is all about, and how this information of different magnetic properties or the parameters which are related to magnetism, how it will be helpful to him or her in order to understand some basic things which is required for understanding the core engineering subject. So this will help you in as you move towards your core subject. So it will be very much helpful in knowing certain important parameters that will be useful for the later application purposes. So that is the reason that we are studying about unit 4. See, we just started with this unit 4. We are starting the unit 4, and unit 4 is dealing with the chapter 1, that is magnetic properties, right, or magnetic materials. So when I say unit 4, so we are dealing with the chapter 1, that is magnetic materials. So when I say magnetic materials, now you need to understand this very much. It is required for you. So the magnetic field, right, magnetic what is actually field? magnetic field here we are talking about. So the region around a magnet is said to be magnetic field. And one thing that you need to understand in this particular chapter, the basic parameters or conceptual things that are very important. What is actually the meaning of susceptibility? Before starting the topic, certain important parameters we will discuss here. What is actually the meaning of susceptibility? We'll use this susceptibility, and also we'll use this in the later discussion of classification of materials. So when I say susceptibility, first of all, susceptibility is nothing but it is the capability of the medium. So when I just say that it is the capability of a medium, capability of the medium to take up magnetization, right? So we are dealing with the capability of the medium to take up the magnetization. So it means it also, in our comfortable language, is the capability of acquiring the magnetism in a given material, which I say that is called susceptibility. So this is the you can just say this is the ability. You can say that is the ability of acquiring the strength of magnetism in a given material. We just say that is denoted with susceptibility, right? So and the susceptibility value, you are aware of the fact it is given, it is a relation between your magnetization and the magnetizing field. So the magnetization and the magnetizing field relationship is given by, since the magnetization which is denoted as capital M, you are aware of this fact, M, and the magnetizing field and magnetizing field. So this magnetizing field is denoted with a symbol called H, right? With a symbol of H, right? The relationship between M and H. So what is the magnetization and magnetization field relationship is actually given by M is equal to zeta into H. So where your zeta is nothing but it is given by M by H. So this, you need to understand this particular relationship. You will later on understand why we are just going for this magnetization or the magnetizing field, right? We are talking about. And the important parameter that you need to understand here, also the second important, a very important thing that you are aware is permeability. So here you need to understand these two important parameters. When you just study about the magnetic materials, so you should be known to the fact what is permeability is said to be. So what is permeability? When a material is placed, so say when a material is placed in a magnetic field, right? Just now we just discussed about the magnetic field. So when a material is placed in a magnetic field, comma, the degree to which the lines of force, we are talking about magnetic lines of force can penetrate in the medium, So we just say this is actually the denoted by some value of this. What is this? Just now we had the information, right? So since B is equal to, you are aware that V is nothing but it is equal to mu h. Now if it is a vacuum, for vacuum, so V will be equal to mu naught h. If the medium is vacuum, so we can just write V is equal to mu naught h. Clear everybody? Now we want to know, right? This is what the important relationship that you need to understand before understanding the main topic of classification of magnetic material. So we just started with this susceptibility. So it is the capability of the medium to take up magnetization. So magnetization and the magnetization field is related by the relationship M is equal to zeta h, where M is the magnetization and H is the magnetizing field. So what is the relationship? Magnetization, it has been induced. Magnetizing field, it has been given externally to the material. So the relationship between the induced magnetization and the magnetic field which is given to the external by an external as an external source, so is related by the relation M is equal to zeta into h. So that zeta is equal to M by h, that is equation number 1. So permeability, when a material is placed in a magnetic field, the degree to which the magnetic lines of force can be penetrating in the given medium, we just say that is called B is equal to mu h. And for if mu h is any medium, right? We talk about when I write B is equal to mu h, it is I'm talking about any medium, right? So when we consider the vacuum, then it will be B is equal to mu naught h. So before studying this magnetic materials, you need to understand that what are the different properties. There are some important concepts you should understand before studying in detail about different classification of materials. So if you are aware of the fact that what is actually the meaning of susceptibility and what is actually the meaning of permeability and what is the basic difference between these two, so then you can understand more clearly the concepts of the magnetic materials classification and the different properties of the material. So depending upon these two important parameters, we are aware that the classification we just discussed this classification of materials. So the classification of when we talk about classification of materials, so these materials have been classified into different categories. So that categories are nothing but paramagnetic material and ferromagnetic material. Classification of materials in the sense I'm talking about magnetic materials. So now a student is aware of the fact that what is actually magnet, what is magnetism, what is magnetization, what is magnetizing field, and how the magnet look like. You can just see this is a bar magnet and this is the N and S, and the difference between these two is 2 here, right? The distance between two poles, right? Here N and S is serving as the pole and 2L is the distance between the two consecutive poles of a bar magnet. Clear everybody? Magnetization, induced magnetization, and also this is by knowing this important parameters. Again, this classification of, when we talk about classification of magnetic materials, ferromagnetic materials have been classified depending upon the spin of the materials, anti-ferromagnetic materials, and also we'll discuss the magnetic material. So here you need to understand how these magnetic materials, depending upon their properties, has been classified into different parameters. And then in this particular chapter we'll also discuss about the what you can say, the domains, right? We talk about magnetic domains, right? What is actually the magnetic domain means, and what are the importance of these magnetic domains, that also will deal with. And these particular factor will come into existence more clearly. You will understand the topic of magnetic domains when we just study about the classification of ferromagnetic materials, right? So here we'll have a very clear discussion regarding this magnetic domains, and also depending upon, see we here in this chapter 1 we are giving importance to ferromagnetic materials, right? So because of its spontaneous magnetization, it has a special property called spontaneous magnetization, due to which these ferromagnetic materials are having various applications in the engineering sector, and also it will have different applications in our daily life appliances, whatever we are using here. So so again, dia and para is also having so many advantages, but still when we just compare this ferro with respect to dia and para, so ferro here having a high degree of potential, right? It is having high degree of potential for the application purpose, right? And when I talk about the spontaneous magnetization in the ferromagnetic material, definitely I am talking about the internal field which is acting inside the ferromagnetic field. Spontaneous magnetization means what actually? It means that some magnetic field is existing inside the magnetic material, even if you just remove the external magnetizing field also. That is what actually this means, right? So that particular aspect we'll just deal with our in the next class. So for now, I think that we'll take leave for today's class. And thank you everyone